Hi, everyone. Welcome. Right here, I have some cloves and I have some organic black chai tea, which I love chai tea. So I'm about to make me some delicious chai tea while my shrimp are unthawing under running water, cold running water. So right here, I am just filling up my coffee pot with water so that I can pour it inside of the coffee maker. Instead of making coffee, I will be making me some organic black chai tea with cloves, and it's gonna be so delicious. Well, it was so delicious. So I'm just pouring the water in there, and then I am going to put the cloves inside of the coffee pot. Maybe like I think it's like six or seven or eight, something like that. Who knows? It could be 10. The possibilities are endless. But anyways, I put that in there so that when the tea is coming out, the clove can steep as well inside of the tea liquid. So here I just opened the chai tea baggies and I poured it inside of the coffee filter so that it can just be open in the coffee filter instead of the tea bag, putting in the tea bag. Okay, and you can hear all the amazing sounds of the coffee pot. I love the sound of how the tea or the coffee, whichever one I'm making at the current moment, just trickle down and it's bubbling and just it just sounds so I don't know amazing to me. I love that noise. That's why I got an old fashioned coffee pot. I did have a Keurig, but I just wanted a regular coffee pot. I just enjoy making coffee and tea out of this kettle. All right, so my tea is almost finished, and here I am going to be pouring this beautiful, delicious, warm tea into my mug. And again, it is clove and organic black chai tea, and I'm pouring it in there, and it smells amazing. And I'm also going to be adding some zero sugar whipped cream on top of it to give it a little bit of sweetness, even though this doesn't have any sugar in it. And I like the way it tastes. So, yeah, that's basically like a little cream or something that I'm putting in there. But that's really delicious. It's zero sugar, so it's not hurting anything. All right, my tea's done. Now let's get to the fun part. Okay, so here I am just going to peel off my shrimps because they are unthawed, and I'll see you in a few once I have them all peeled. In the meantime, I chopped up an onion and I am turning on the fire underneath my pan. And I am going to add some delicious butter, maybe like a half a stick. Yeah, as you can see, a half of this stick of butter I'm going to add to the pan. And once it starts to sizzle, or a little bit before it starts to sizzle, I'm going to add my white onion, well, yellow onion, into the frying pan as well, saute pan as well. And I used half of a small onion for this dish. So I'm going to let that sizzle and saute for a bit before I start to add my other ingredients. And I'm just going to mix everything around like so that the butter is evenly coated on the bottom of the pan and that all of the onions get cooked evenly. And we're just going to keep on stirring that up, mixing that up for a little while until it's to my liking. Actually, until the onions are a little bit translucent, because I don't want them to be like overcooked because everything else needs to be added to the pan as well. So the next step I am going to, once the onions are to my liking, I'm going to open this minced garlic. And I think the minced garlic is in water or it's either in olive oil. And I'm just going to add maybe like that much to the pan of sauteed onions and butter. And we're going to just like put the top back on that and put that away. And I'm going to mix all of that goodness around my saute pan, as you can see here. Mixing it up, you know. And the aroma smells amazing. If you know, you know. Alright, so once that is cooked down to the way I want it to be, I'm adding my some cauliflower and I'm adding some steamed broccoli. And I just had that in the freezer, so I was just like, let me use it up because they both were open. So I just used the cauliflower as well with the broccoli. And right here I'm reducing the heat because I don't want it to cook too fast because I'm going to add a little bit of water into the pan as well so that my broccoli is like evenly cooked. Not too much. Not too much water, but just enough water um, to cover the bottom of the saute skillet. Alright, I'm mixing everything around, getting prepared to pour the water in there in a few seconds. Alright, there's my water. And I only added, just a tiny amount, you can see. And I'm going to turn the heat back up so that the water can cook out and cook the broccoli and the cauliflower evenly before I start to add my other ingredients. Alright, so here I'm just showing you guys everything, the broccoli and the cauliflower and the onions and the garlic in the saute pan, sauteing in the butter. And here I was like, the tea was so good, let me just pour the rest of my tea and just drink it. But all of it wouldn't fit, so I still had some left over, but it was just so delicious. So as you can see, the whipped cream was gone as well too. Alright, so this is what my broccoli and cauliflower is looking like. It's still frozen, so we're just gonna let that saute some more. And I'm just mixing it up, and I'm cranking up the heat a little bit more, a little higher. As you can see, the water is starting to like boil a bit. Yeah, it's definitely boiling. And I'm just mixing everything up and just giving you guys, okay, so everything is soft. And now I'm adding my shrimp, which is like, I added it last because shrimp cooks really fast and I want my shrimp to be cooked perfectly. So I'm adding my shrimp and then I'm going to give that a mix everything up really good and well. And then I'm going to start to add my seasonings. So first up, I have some lemon pepper seasoning. Now, I did not add any like garlic powder, onion powder, because I have fresh onions and I have fresh garlic. So why would I add um, onion powder seasoning and garlic powder seasoning if I already have the actual ingredients in the dish? So I just skipped that. And we're going to go with lemon pepper because I wanted to have a little twang to it. A little twang. Sprinkle that all over everything. It's going to be so delicious. And then, of course, I had to use some Slap Your Mama's, the hot kind, because I wanted it to be a little spicy as well. And I like Cajun in seasoning. So I just added it to my liking. And then I'm going to just mix all of that around really good. Just mix it. And then I'm going to leave it for a few minutes and allow my shrimp to cook. And I'm just mixing everything up. It smells amazing. Just mixing everything up. It looks delicious already. Not quite there yet, but I want making sure all of my shrimp get cooked on both sides. And my cauliflower and my broccoli are done. Excuse my voice. I just got off work, so, I have to do what I love to do. Can't miss a beat. All right, that's me. I'm doing a little razzle dazzle with the pan. We're going to mix in everything, making sure all of it is like evenly on the bottom of the pan so that everything can get cooked and coated in delicious buttery, lemony, Cajun seasoned slap your mama sauce. All right, and I'm just gonna cook that down a little bit more, and I'm adding some, like half of a jar of creamy alfredo sauce that I had got from Lidl, and I'm just adding the rest of that in there. And it actually doesn't look like a lot, but it is. It was like the perfect amount. It was not too much. It was just right for me, and it's creamy. And I'm actually gonna mix that up and let it cook down some more, and then I'm gonna plate it up. This was the perfect amount of alfredo sauce that I used, and I didn't want all of that cheese, extra cheese, and all of that, because when I make alfredo, I usually put, like, Parmesan cheese and all that. But this was a quick and simple, light meal that I just wanted to make, and it was fulfilling and satisfying. And I didn't want anything too heavy on my stomach, and so that's why I decided to just add the little bit of alfredo sauce to it and not extra cheese and all of that jazz. But yeah, it's sizzling. It smells good, looks good, sounds good. All right, now it's time to plate it up. So here I have my bowl, and I'm just gonna scoop it. Look at that! Doesn't the steam looks amazing? Looks so delicious. It smells amazing. I was like, I knew this was going to be super good, and the sauce was not too thick. Like, it was just right for me, the way I liked it. I know some people probably like their sauce a little bit thicker. Um, if I was using pasta, maybe, but I liked how this came out. And usually I make my sauce from scratch, so, but this was fine. I was just trying to do a quick meal, and that's what it's looking like. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more of the Slap Your Mamas on top, and I'm going to sprinkle some parsley as well for garnish. And bon appetit. I'm ready to eat. This meal was a 10 out of 10. I loved it. It was so good, so light, and so filling, and so tasty, so delicious. And I didn't feel sluggish or anything after eating it. I felt light and right. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next